What is up, fellow YouTubers, fellow car enthusiasts? This is your guy Christopher Watson of Crack Media again. And how many of you guys are truck lovers? That's what's going to go on in episode 2 of Gear Dogs. So, in episode 2 of Gear Dogs on Discovery Channel, we have Nate, who is obviously the host and the owner of the Doghouse, the featured builder or owner of the car that's going to be restored and flipped. Chris, he actually has a 1970s Chevy C10 that will actually look pretty freaking awesome as the finished product. So basically, Chris actually shows up at the Doghouse in a camper, well, with a camper on the trailer, with a 1970s C10 with just the cab and a, late model LS engine, 5.3 liter V8. And might I add, I actually like the idea of the 5.3 liter V8. You have pretty decent displacement. It's a newer engine. It's still overhead valve, or use push rods and things like that. But you don't have a big burly V8, but you still got a V8, and you can put some boost to it if you want to in the future. In this episode, Nate approaches Chris about the truck and the flip and saying, hey, I know you want to do work on your truck and restore it, but how about you think about selling it instead of just restoring it yourself? Well, Chris says he has about $10,000 input to the car or the truck, and Nate says, how about I add another 10 grand and we try to sell it for like 30 or 40? Chris has to get finagled into doing it, but he eventually says, all right, let's do it. Now, here's the first time that I, saw this, and I thought it would probably be a problem, but where Nate and Chris actually, or Nate and the other party in the flip, quote unquote, actually disagree. Nate proposes that they do somewhat of a shaved look on the truck, whereas Chris, the owner of the C10, wants to leave all the trim on the truck because he thinks that it actually sell more or make more money. Considering that Nate builds freaking clean cars, with cultured customs, I think he knows a little bit better, a little bit more about the market. So, after a little bit of back and forth discussing, Chris eventually says, all right, we'll do the no trim look on the outside of the car if you think it's going to make more money. They have to find body parts. They do a wood trunk bed and paint it. They actually show where Chris does some painting himself. Me personally, I think painting the car is probably the most daunting or most scary part of a build, because if you don't do the paint right, it can break your car, break the look or break the resale value of a car. Anyway, one little piece I forgot, Chris actually had a buddy of his stay with him in the camper and actually help him with building the car. Halfway through the episode, Chris's buddy up and leaves and says, hey, I'm going back with my family, and kind of leaves Chris high and dry. Luckily, because Nate is doing a flip job with him, he says, hey, I'll have my guys, he'll finish the job, I'm still going to make some money, we'll just get it done. They eventually get the car done. The car is really, I think it's painted like this candy apple red. It's not really like flashy red, it's more like a in between red and maroon. It's really pretty, actually. Like I said, they have the 5.3 liter V8. They freshen it up. They eventually end up trying to sell it there's a starting price of like $60,000, but their aiming price was 50 grand, and they end up selling it for $51,000, which they make a pretty decent profit of, I think, about a little over $25,000, or right at $25,000, and Nate gets a quarter of it. So I think they made a profit of like 26 or 27, because Nate makes like $5,500 or $6,500. Now, as far as the episode goes itself, I can't answer more to see, a community garage where the owner of the garage actually gets his hands dirty with you. He helps you build the car correctly and to utilize all that the shop offers, So they actually, teach this guy how to paint. They teach him how to, mold and do trim work, or to do a more of a shaved look. I think the truck, ended up pretty nice, and they made a cool profit. Now, I personally like classic trucks. My dad had a 1974 Chevrolet stepside. I guess you could say, I don't know if it was the K series or if it was a Silverado back in the day, but he had one that he bought when I was born. Well, it sat down in my grandmother's yard for like years. My dad said, "Hey, you can have it." We go to pick it up, and it's like buried in like a foot or two of dirt. Well, we can't pull it out with the truck that my dad had, because it was just a 2-wheel drive truck. It wasn't really built to pull stuff out. So I didn't actually get the truck to actually get to restore it, which was kind of disappointing. But I say all that to say is, I love the classic truck look. I would personally want to build one myself, and maybe even build one with my son, because you can always make a clean truck, and you can drive those forever. Now, so I think that this episode is pretty sweet, considering they do a truck build, and it wasn't over the top. It was just clean. So anyway, what do y'all guys think? Do y'all like classic trucks? Do you think that this TV show is actually worthwhile, seeing that you get to follow an actual normal everyday person build a car, but with the help of a custom shop, make a good product and do the flip value? Or do you think that the owners of the car should keep the car after they get done doing it? I'm pretty sure we'll see that in later episodes, but what do y'all think? Drop a line down below on your opinion. And my opinion is, I think it needs to be a little bit of both. I think that it needs to have both some owners of the restoration to keep the car, and some that are going to flip it. I mean, I know Nate is in the flipping business, but I think that he should at least give them an option. Anyway, we'll catch y'all on the next video. Thanks again for watching if y'all are new to the channel, and thanks again for subscribing if y'all are subscribers already. I know this is a little different from the MR2 videos and the family vlogs, but I kind of like doing these. I like watching the shows and kind of doing a review, because some people like to actually review or see what people think about the show before they start watching it, so then they know, hey, this actually is interesting, and I'll watch them. Anyway, we'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.